Welcome to the Girl Talk Mental Health. Girl Talk Mental Health dares to go where others won't. We unpack the hard truths about mental health, dissect trending topics, and challenge the stereotypes and stigmas holding us back. From navigating the 6 dimensions of wellness to redefining social norms, this is more than a discussion. It's a revolution in how we care for our minds and souls. Ready for bold, honest conversations that spark change? Let's dive in. It's time for real talk with real impact.
Our bodies carry burdens we rarely give them credit for: stress, trauma, disappointment, yet somehow they still stand. In this new episode of Girl Talk Mental Health, we explore how gratitude nurtures resilience, leading to better mental and physical health outcomes. So, welcome to Girl Talk Mental Health, where we get real about the stories we often hide. And today, we're diving into something so overlooked yet deeply healing: the gratitude and resilience of your body. So, think about it. Your body is carrying every heartbreak, every joy, and it's still here, still breathing, still fighting for you. So today, I'm thrilled to welcome our special guest, Ms. Denicia Hilton, who has walked this journey of learning to love and thank your body even through emotional storms. So welcome, Ms. Denicia, to the stage. Welcome, welcome. So tell the audience a little bit about who you are. She's doing her little pageant wave.
Hello. What do they say? It comes from what is it, the elbow and then the wrist follows or something like that.
Put your own little twist to it. So tell
Yeah.
the audience a little bit about who you are.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Denicia Hilton Harper, and by title, I actually practice as a doctor of Oriental medicine and a holistic well-being consultant. And my swished on it, my zhuzh, my perfect magic letter, is actually where it is that I love guiding people in fostering a different type of relationship with their whole body, in the sense that all of those symptoms, which we call signals, are actually offering messages about how it is that we're navigating in our relationships and what aspects of of our relationships we're really jamming about: boundaries, burnout, and being authentic. So those tend to be the 3 pillars, 3 main areas. But it's really to see that what is coming up in our body is actually giving us some insight. And so I use what I've learned and how I've practiced and bringing it all together and getting to show everybody about what it is that the body has to say and guiding you, especially when the mental part, we can overthink it and we can
Mhm.
rationalize a lot. But when we get to see what the wisdom is that's contained in the rest of the body, then it can help actually facilitate those relationships to go by much easier, and especially the relationship with the self.
Okay, well, you didn't tell me you was a doctor. I need to put a handle on it, right? Dr. Denicia, why would you let me do that to
Oh,
you?
no, it's fine. I typically don't even like say it, so that's why I'm like, hey,
Really?
just call me Denise.
Yeah,
It's all
some
good.
people
Yeah.
are like, put the doctor on it, baby. It's doctor. All right, doctor, are you ready to dive into this impactful conversation today?
Let's do
You
it.
ready? Let's go. So, share with us a moment when gratitude for your body helped you overcome a difficult mental health season.
Yes. Okay. So let's see. I would say there was a time when I was going into a workplace, and this is this is very interesting because at this time, this is before I actually went to grad school. So I didn't really understand or know what was going on. But what I could tell you at that time was that I'd be driving on the expressway, chilling with my music and da, 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 like, yeah, we jamming out. And then I started realizing a pattern. At a certain point on that expressway, I would start getting itchy. And
Mm,
I would get itchy like right in my chest. And I would get hot, right? And then I would get kind of sweaty, whatever. And then I just keep going, da, da, da. Punching my code, still go to the workplace. And I noticed that it started to get happening like more frequently, but it was always at the same point in time. And I'm like,
mm.
this, I was like,
Those
what is going
triggers.
on?
Mm,
Yeah. And so I've always kind of been like a little bit more of an intuitive type ever since I was younger. Also, didn't really realize it till later when someone else was pointing it out. But now in retrospect, I'm like, that's what that was. So, so I kind of was just tuning in to myself and then started seeing there was a pattern and it was happening at this certain point in an expressway and that it was happening only on certain days. and, and then I was like, I think this might actually be anxiety. Like, I didn't even know what that was, right? Like, I'm not even thinking, oh, I'm one that experiences that or anything like that. And but what happened was once I started like putting it together, and then because it was true at that time, there was a lot going on in that workplace with a colleague,
mm,
and so it was to be able to put that together and then realize like, oh, that's what that is. It's because of this, right? Like because of this coming into this situation. It wasn't just the workplace. Like I loved my workplace. It was just this one particular person that I was having some challenges with, right?
mm,
And so when I realized that, then I could actually start to become more consciously aware of some of the things that I could do and to actually mitigate it for myself.
yeah.
Um, and when I did, like, it was that whole body is responding unconsciously, and then once I brought it to conscious awareness, it eased up, if that makes any sense. So, it was like, "Oh, you're actually listening, you're seeing now, like, something is actually going on, and you're responding to your environment."
Uh-huh.
Um, Once I was able to realize that, then it was like, "So what can I do?" Like,
What was the time frame? How long did it take you to make those connections?
I wanna say it took a few weeks, 'cause it kinda I wanna say, like, it escalated quickly in the sense when I say escalated quickly, it was like, oh, it would be like a little itch here
Mhm,
and there, but then it started happening, like, more frequently or, like, the actual physical symptoms started getting bigger, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the it didn't feel comfortable. So
mhm.
yeah, like, it didn't feel comfortable. I'm in Florida, right? So, I'm
Uh,
also thinking, "Oh, I'm
it's
in
the
Florida."
weather. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was not. It was totally anxiety related. And then now, years later, I'm going through grad school and whatnot, and then especially with the Chinese medicine lens of how we look at anxiety and certain little nuances that can give some insight into which organ systems are really playing a role. I mean, I can totally see how it was playing out, right? And um, I just thought that it was really cool because then at least then I think that's the thing is that if we get so wrapped up into the physical symptom and the way that it presents itself and it
Mhm,
it sometimes what happens is or a lot of times we tend to direct our attention to the symptom and be like, okay, I feel uncomfortable, let me get rid of that, right?
mhm,
Without really involving the other parts.
mhm,
So this is why I say we're not denying that it is happening. We actually are opening ourselves up to the other parts that are playing a role.
mhm,
And that includes like the spiritual, the mental, and the emotional aspects of it. The physical is its expression. And so like once I was able to like figure that part out, then it became easier. But yeah, it was a short period, a few weeks because it escalated rather quickly and I'm like, am I getting sick? Like I you know, but it really wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. But yeah, once I realized and then once that person was gone, it actually like really completely went away.
mhm.
'Cause the environment now,
Yeah.
like what
The
was the
trigger was
stressor and it's
gone. Yeah.
just gone, you know? Yeah. So to be able to find the tools to use, and then create, like realize that you can create solutions. Like
Mhm.
sometimes it seems like there isn't anything that you can do, but it's like, no, get creative,
Right.
co-create. Like I
Absolutely.
prayed about it, asked for direction and guidance, and like you can co-create a solution, um, at least to get you through to mitigate and strengthen. It's like you were saying in the beginning, like it's that resilience of the body. So it's like, what can you do within yourself, right? Like you have the equipment.
Right.
That's why my body was responding the way it was responding. It was literally doing its job. And so,
Right.
you know, and
Absolutely.
giving off the signals and saying, "Hey, we're trying to actually work with the environment that you're in." And
Mhm.
when you tie in like the energetics of it, I was responding in advance. And that's typically what happens with anxiety, right? Like it's the stuff that we think about in the future, and that it comes up in the future and it's not necessarily there quite yet. And then you can start spiraling, right? Just because it's this fear of the unknown, and then am I going to be able to do it? Am I really able to? Am I is my body capable? Am I, so you go through all of that stuff. And but the way that it shows up in the body and where can give you the insight, since each one of the organ systems are have a function to the they have a role to the function of the whole. And
Mhm.
so once you can kind of get an idea of like how is it presenting, then you can get a little bit more clarity on, oh, this is the tool, this is the technique, that this is the strategy that I could use for myself.
Now you mentioned something about Chinese. Did you say Chinese medicine? What it was? You said
Yes.
Chinese something. That's what you said.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about that. How did you get into that? Is it a part of your origin, or did you just like studying it? Give us a little bit of background, and then what is it?
Sure. Yes. So, in a nutshell, Chinese medicine comes out from the East, and the what it is it's a way of really looking at. I like to say you could look at the environment, because a lot of what we talk about in our organ systems and our energetics you'll hear nature, like you'll hear names of nature, like the five elements being fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And what it is, it's more than 5,000 years old medicine, and it's where it is that people saw that we were actually in response to our environment, and there might be some illnesses and diseases and whatnot, right? But it was mapped out, these meridians and these channels that follow the energy flow in our body. But then also it involves herbs, and what is it that's in what's growing as an herb that could also support our health and well-being, and to reharmonize. You'll often hear balancing out the body. I prefer to call it harmonizing,
Mhm.
because every aspect of us is there.
Mhm.
And it's all in how it is that each one is going to support the whole system to be able to function.
Mhm.
And so then, with Chinese medicine, that's what you'll see is, and you'll hear me say Chinese medicine as a whole, or I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine. People will hear acupuncture, that's one modality. Within the
Mhm.
medicine itself, there is acupuncture, but it's also food that's involved. Feng
Okay.
shui, so the energy of your space, that's also involved. Body work, the way that you move your body, like meditation, like each of these are actually aspects of the medicine. So for Chinese medicine, like this is what the founder of our school, who he trained under, he would say, Dr. Shen would say, the medicine in the life. And it's like, it's saying literally, you can look at the life and then see how it's playing a role into how someone is showing up now. But then also the medicine for the harmony is also in the life. So in what ways is it that we can adjust that and then get our whole being into a state of harmony? Um, and so you'll see that's like a very quick, like you'll hear chi also being used, which in simple terms, it just means energy. Like
Okay.
It's just the energy that is there. It flows with the blood, and everything. All of the substances has its role in the way that we present. A lot of some of the medicines that you hear, like conventional pharmaceutical drugs, when you really look at those and you even break those down, they oftentimes have a foundational herb. That's where it started from.
Mm-hmm.
And then the companies would try to extract that component of it and then like, multiply it and exponentially like do all these other things to make the drug that you see. But a lot of them are rooted in herbs. Like they've found it's really fascinating, just like how what plants and herbs would grow in certain areas, like
Yeah, it
where
is.
malaria might be rampant. There's an herb that also is rampant, and so like the people
Okay.
there would drink that tea of the herb and whatnot to curb it. So it's really cool. So like I said, the medicine in the life, like what kind of gets us to where we are, and yet what also harmonizes is also in the life. So it's really cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I have to
that's
look that
that's
up.
how I came into it. Was a friend of mine, a sorority sister, introduced it to me, and I loved medicine ever since I was younger. But this
Mhm.
way of seeing the medicine of like, hey, we can see a whole person for who they are, and you mean that we could all we have to do is just kind of tweak a few things, and then their body would literally heal itself. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not the healer. I don't say that.
Right.
I say that you're the healer.
The
I'm
body.
just giving you the tools, and we're strategizing on how it is that we can move little pieces so that the pathways open, the pathways connect, the flow happens, and then the healing occurs.
That's
And
good.
yeah,
Mhm.
so it's really cool to
Right. Well, what about people who we're talking about the physical a lot, but what about that inner negative self-talk that kind of is in the body? How do you help people, or how could you help someone shift from that criticism of always, especially if they don't recognize it's some signals in the body and they thinking it's mentally, something is wrong with them, like they're not good enough or something like that. Now, how do you get a person to shift from criticism to gratitude?
Mm. Okay, so one of the things that I say is imagine that you have this table, and a lot of the narrative that's out there is like, oh, overcome the doubt, overcome the self sabotage, overcome the negative self talk, and I'm of the position of actually pull up a table. Pull up. It could be a picnic table. We can even just do a picnic blanket, and I actually invite it to the table.
Uh,
Um, because here's why. Like if it's present, it's carrying a message. It has a message. So if you're so preoccupied with trying to overcome it,
mhm.
we're actually denying that aspect. We're saying, "Up, reject, send back," right? But
Right,
return to sender. But the thing is it has a message. Just like in that envelope, that you need to open up the envelope.
right. And
And
see what it
and
says.
so right. And I think like some people might be afraid of what is in the envelope, which
Absolutely.
is actually what's in them. And so what happens is I'll say like if that's there and it's present, it's there for a reason. Like there's something going on as to why that narrative is going on in your head. And
Mhm,
so invite it to the table and then open yourself to explore what it is, like what's actually there, what's behind it.
mhm,
Now, remember I said like the mind can do what it wants to be able to protect yourself, right?
mhm,
And so someone might say that there's some self-doubt or whatever, and it's like, "Okay, cool, I understand that." And you can get into the conversation of, like, doubt about what? And they'll give you the topic. It might be that, "Oh, well, I'm having doubts about what is happening with my partner." "Oh,
mhm,
okay, cool." Now, here's the thing. Remember I said that the body is also speaking. It's your best friend. Like, a lot of the times when people say the mental parts, like if it's the doubt, if it's the self-value, if it's the confusion, if it's anxiety, any of that,
mhm.
most of the time they're also experiencing something on a physical body level.
Yeah.
So that could be headaches, it could be body pain, it could be bloating and digestion, it could be constipation, it could be diarrhea, it could be menstrual cycle issues, PCOS, fertility, back pain, like body pain anywhere. Like there's something else that's also simultaneously going on. And because you're a whole person and everything is related and connected to each other, more than likely the nuances of the self-doubt, so the relationship with that partner,
Mhm.
is showing up somewhere in the physical body. And so that's then where I'll start hearing about certain stuff. So they could be getting ready to try to have a conversation with that partner, and then all of a sudden they're talking about how their left elbow starts hurting,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah.
might start throbbing out of nowhere, quote
Yeah, the
unquote,
physical
right?
and the mental is very much connected, and people don't. They always pay attention, like you said, to the physical, and they don't really pay attention to that inner mental part that really kind of goes hand in hand and helps to drive each other, to your full wellness and healing process. People
Right.
miss that a lot. So let's take a
Yeah.
quick commercial break, Miss Doctor Denicia. See, I'm gonna use your handle, and then we'll be right back.
You weren't meant to break, you were set apart. What if your deepest pain was the birthplace of your greatest purpose? Meet Gingerbread, a child caught in the chaos of her mother's depression and suicide attempts. She never asked for trauma, shame, or to feel invisible, but she found something greater. Set Apart, the journey to find hope through loneliness, shame, and death is more than a book. It's the breakthrough you didn't know you needed. If you've ever said, "I'm fine," when you were falling apart. If you've ever thought, "This story isn't for me," it is. Don't let fear, excuses, or busyness rob you of healing. This book will shatter the silence, stir your soul, and remind you, you were never forgotten. You were set apart. Set Apart, the journey to find hope in times of shame, loneliness, and death, by author Virginia Dale Manning. Available now, because hope can't wait.
So, welcome back. We are here with Dr. Denicia. And if you missed the first half, you need to go back and watch it because she gave some great nuggets, some great tips, and some great practices to help you be in tune with your body and also the mental aspect of your mind, body, and the gratitude part. So, Doctor, give us some simple daily rituals. People, we have short term, we like quick, instant results or whatever. So give us some simple daily rituals that people can do to honor and thank their bodies, even when they're in pain, physically and mental, because mental has some pain and mental stressors as well. So what are some
Mm.
things they can do?
So, okay, one of the ones is especially if we're talking about gratitude, right? And like, say, inviting all of that sabotage, self sabotage, doubt, and all that stuff to the table. I would actually say when it does come up, thank it. Because remember, there was a message that was with it.
Mm,
And so thank it. Like when you're actually sitting there and opening yourself up to the message that was there, like something that you might not have it would have been right over your head. You might have been oblivious to it. Like I said, you would have turned a blind eye to it. But that message that could be that thing that shifts it all for you.
mhm.
Right.
Thank you
And
for giving me
so,
some new information, for bringing some stuff to my
yes.
awareness so I could be a better me, right? Mm,
Yep, and even if it's just writing a letter out to it, it's like, "Dear self-doubt," like, and you're just sending it that message. And another one I would say is if there's, like, a physical feeling somewhere, like if it is pain or bloating or something like that, actually touch is really helpful. So, if you can imagine, like, the power that's within your hands, like, just touch that elbow and just kinda sit there and breathe with it for a few seconds and engage in a conversation. Ask it, what is the information that it has for you?
mm,
And this will be something, the response that you hear can be very quick. And also open yourself to that. It may not be words, it might be symbols, right?
mm,
It might be colors. It might be a sense of smell. It might be a feeling in your body, right? It might be an emotion. So open yourself up to what it is that it has to say to you. And it's often very quick so that it doesn't leave room for you to start to logicize it. So it's that first initial stuff that comes to you and just placing it there and just being like, you know what? I bless you.
Mm,
And so sometimes it's like people try to overthink, like, what do they have to do? And just being like, I bless is enough.
enough.
And you know, like energetically is enough. Just blessing, offering the blessing. You're not even being specific. You're allowing, you're allowing the wisdom of your body to do its thing.
Okay, that's
And
good. Hmm.
just that's it. Like just really touch, breath, and then literally expressing the gratitude for the messages that are there and what they contain can be great big shifters.
All right. Well, let's transition to my favorite part of the show, and it is the speaker spotlight. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? There you go. Okay, so what's one mindset shift or action step you believe could transform how we approach mental health and wellness in our daily lives?
Oh, realize that you are perfect. Yes. The root meaning of perfect is whole and complete. And another thing I want to connect for you, the root meaning of health is to come whole. So, the root meaning of health being to come whole, and the root meaning of perfect is whole and complete. You are perfect. So, just like we did today, and I said, bring whatever it is to the table. Try not to deny it. Try not to repress it. Bring it to the table. And if you need someone to facilitate that with you, then do so. But bring it to the table because it's a part of your wholeness. It's a part of what makes you you. And when you bring it in and you learn how to integrate it, how to transform the impact of it and making it into something that you want to see in your life, you're really just tapping into your own unique, perfect magic glitter. And that's what we need in the connective. We need you to be you, and that's it. And there's always a space and place for you to do that and to be that.
Your little perfect self.
Yes.
Well, let the audience know where they can connect with you. If you have any special offer for them so that they can find you after today's show.
Oh, so please come over to theperfectplayground.com. That's my hangout spot. That's my community area. And whatever it is that I have going on, incentive wise, it'll be posted right there. And there's going to be open areas for free for you to come and hang out at the Perfect Playground. It's a web app. So,
They're the perfect
and join the community. And then there's extra stuff for you too.
the perfect playground. Okay. So, hey, my perfect people and our perfect audience, go to the perfect playground. But if you took anything away from today, let it be this: your body is listening. Choose words and thoughts that heal and not harm. And join us next week for more honest conversations, soul deep tips for your mental health journey. Don't forget to watch, subscribe, leave some comments for Dr. Denicia about this awesome presentation she gave to you today. Go and connect with her because guess what? Your voice matters. And until next time, be your perfect self, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us for Girl Talk Mental Health. Remember, your mental health is your wealth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to at Virginia Del Manning.